Today we will talk about how to build a brand on LinkedIn. Why is it so important to build a brand on LinkedIn? Number one, it's the most trusted social media platform out there. Number two, it's a great place for lead generation. That means you can get access to clients, consumers, customers, and industry peers that you might need to get in contact with over your professional career. And number three, it's a search optimized site. That means it's likely going to be the first profile that shows up when people Google your name. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of Shed Diversity. My name is Sina, thank you so much for tuning in, and let's get straight into my top tips on how to build a brand on LinkedIn. Number one is optimize your bio. This means number one, please complete your bio before you create any kind of content. You don't need to overthink it, just make sure that you use keywords that you want to be searched for. That means if you want people to discover you and hire you as a speaker, make sure that you put speaker or keynote speaker into your bio. That could be in any kind of experience that you have in the past, professional history, or even your bio that you see first thing you go into the profile. As I said, LinkedIn is an SEO optimized platform. That means keywords will help you get discovered. Optimizing your bio also means to understand the keywords for jobs that you want to have. So let's say you want to get a job as a creative designer, make sure that you put that into your bio. So when people are looking for employees to hire or recruiters are actively recruiting for a designer role, they will find your profile. You can also go into analytics to see how well your keywords work. So when I go into my analytics in LinkedIn, I can see oftentimes that the keywords I most highly rank for is for speaker or keynote speaker. That's the case because I use it in my content, I use it in my bio, and I use it in my job experience. There are three places where you can insert SEO or keywords. Number one, the first headline or tagline that is directly under your name on your profile. Number two, it's your bio. It's really the place where you describe yourself and what makes you unique. And number three, it's your job experience or history. That means any kind of job that you had in the past, make sure that you put keywords into that as well. My next tip is about posting news about your industry. People started using LinkedIn more and more as a news platform to get more news and up-to-date information about their industry, their expertise, and the field that they work in. It's all about identifying trends and understanding how you can apply those trends to your own expertise and profile. Here's how. Post about innovations in your field. Let's say you are a marketer. Innovations would be innovative brand campaigns that you see from any kind of brands around the world. You can just share those and either give your opinion or just leave them like that. Let's say you're a scientist. A trend in your area would be new discoveries. So use LinkedIn as a news platform to share any kind of innovations and trends that you see and share your opinion on those trends and where you see them going. This kind of content is highly shareable because people want to get updated news from the industry and the expertise that they're in. And sharing those trends makes them look innovative as well. Other news that you can share in your industry are inclusive practices. This is specifically effective because inclusion, equity, and diversity are trending topics at the moment, specifically on a workplace-related place like LinkedIn. You want to make sure that you understand the inclusion aspect of your industry, and that will help you set yourself apart from other professionals on the platform. Other news that you can post are new faces or leaders in the industry, and you can talk about their achievements or where do you think their talents are going to lead the industry to. You can also share celebrations and achievements, either of yourself in the industry, of the people or the company you work with, or the industry itself. Let's say you have posted about an innovative marketing or brand campaign in the past. Now you can talk about how many awards this marketing campaign actually achieved in the last year. And of course, the platform is also used for PR announcement, meaning new CEOs or new leaders in the industry or any kind of information that would be PR related to your field or companies within your field. You can see in the last year, people with very little following, really, let's say under 500 connections, have gotten really posts that blew up towards 30 or 40,000 because they shared trends or innovations in their industry that people kept resharing. So you want to make sure that you understand LinkedIn as a news sharing and innovation sharing platform. My next tip is tell personal and professional stories. And the perfect balance is to tell personal professional stories. This is probably one of the most important tips that I will give you today. Although people think LinkedIn is a professional and purely expertise and experience placed platform, it is also a platform where people want to hear personal stories, and specifically personal stories that relate to your professional expertise. Find the sweet spot between being personal and professional. I have another video on exactly how to do that up here and in the description below, so make sure that you check that out. So in a nutshell, LinkedIn is neither Facebook, although it started to move towards that, and it's neither your CV. It has to be a sweet spot between understanding that you want to show your expertise and your professional experience, but you also need to tell a personal story and an angle. The reason here is because you are competing for attention, and specifically on a professional platform like LinkedIn, you are competing on a professional level with others who might have the same type of university degree or the same years of work experience, or even the same expertise or angle to your industry. That means if you want to compete, you need to find an angle that no one can compete with, and that is your personality and the reason why your story matters. So anytime you tell a story about your expertise or achievement or any kind of route or journey you're taking, even if you had a speaking engagement, make sure that you talk about it from a personal angle. You can think about it as vlog styling your way into your professional expertise. So you tell the story behind you creating that campaign, or behind you making that discovery, or behind you traveling to that speaking engagement. People want to know what personally affected you about that professional experience. My next tip is a call to action. Make a call to action. This is something that I have discovered out of pure luck. Usually on social media, people will say, use a call to action so people know what you want them to do. Do you want them to follow or like or comment? By the way, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel, like and comment on this video because it helps the algorithm. I mean this totally seriously. So do that please now. Okay, let's get back to it. You need to create a call to action for your LinkedIn post, and ideally for every single post, whether you're posting a video or a story written form or a picture with a bit of text. Make sure that you use a call to action. And how I found that out is I created a video, and I created a lot of videos before, but I never added a call to action in the video. And this was the first time that I was talking about inclusivity and diversity, and I actually told them in the video, as a call to action, as a bit of subtitle, I told them share this, and it got shared over 200 times. 200 times on LinkedIn is huge. It got over 87,000 impressions, and that's just after 1 week. So ask people to share, comment, or give their opinion. When you write text, make sure that you ask them a question at the beginning of the text, because although text, and we'll get to that later, although text works really well, people still read or trim the text really fast. You need to make sure that they see the call to action first thing. So when I tell a story, I ask the question first, then I give the background of the story or why I asked the question, and then I ask the question again at the end of my paragraph. You'll be surprised how many people do what you ask them to do. People love to give their opinion on LinkedIn because that makes them also look good. So make sure that you always ask them to share their opinions in the comments. LinkedIn is one of the platforms where I found you can have a full-on conversation in the comments. People would literally send you paragraphs of written text in the comments because it doesn't have a limit on LinkedIn, or at least it doesn't look like it does, because people sometimes write like 500 words in the comments. And people really want to use that as a platform to communicate and to discuss different aspects of their expertise or industry. My next tip is create content that people can share with their colleagues. And again, this is going to be mind-blowing for you because it will change the entire reach of your content. If you create content that people can share with their colleagues and with others, that will give you much more exposure, and you will get more connections, you will get more followers and more engagement. You know that saying, you're only 5 contacts away from the president? That is so true on LinkedIn. So you want to make sure that you make people share it to their network so you can eventually tap into their network and their network's network and maybe reach the president. Who knows? How to create content that is shareable. Here are my top tips. Make it educational. And ideally, make it educational in a way that is very digestible. It doesn't have to be dumbed down like it does sometimes on TikTok or Instagram, because people don't have a lot of attention span, and you're working with professionals in your field, so it doesn't have to be simple, but it should be digestible. So work with points or easy paragraphs or notes, or when you say something in a written format and it's a lot of text, make sure that you turn it into a picture or a visual. You can just use Canva with the most important information. So if you have 5 things you want to say and you write a paragraph to each of them, make sure that you put those 5 points, only those 5 points, no explanation, into a visual. And that is easily shareable with anyone, because people, if they're lazy, don't need to read your text. They can just look at the visual and read those 5 points. Number 2 content tip is make it practical. Make it so they can apply it straight away in their business, in their teams, in their industry, or when they go literally to the workplace, so they can directly apply it. This could be something with communication tips or behavioral tips, or even strategies that they can apply in their work and see instant results. The next tip is make it easy to remember. Create content that is easily memorable. This could either be by, as I said, being digestible, so creating keywords or talking about the 5 main points, or even making content that is in a video format so people see your face and they remember your face. You can also use visual formats like, as I said, Canva, and use visuals there and use specific pictures or colors. And one of the things that also works really well are comics or little drawings. But here's the most important tip that I have for you to create content that is shareable. Make content that makes the people look good who share it. This specifically looks out for any trends or innovations in the field, because if you share that piece of content, you look innovative and trendy. It can also be educational or inclusive. So make people look good that share your content by making them good look inclusive. So one of the examples that I gave earlier, that video was about inclusion. So anyone who shared that video, that made them look like they are inclusive themselves, even if they're not. This could also be making them look funny or youthful. So create content that makes people look good when they share it. Either they share it with their colleagues in private, or they share it on their own LinkedIn account. You want to become the go-to person for people to look for content that they can easily share without giving their opinion, or just like using 4 or 3 words like, look at this content to be more inclusive, or this is a great example of blah, blah, blah. Make it easy for people to share your content by making them look good when they do. My next tip is take advantage of trends. And trends not only mean innovations in your field or trends that are going on social media, but also seasonality. And that means take advantage of any international day, Earth Day, International Women's Day. For this year also, if you are part of a group specifically, you could tap into Pride Month or Ramadan or Christmas, and make sure that you plan your content around that seasonality. And it's quite easy to do so. So when it comes to sharing trends, people are always a bit nervous because they're like, oh, I have to look out for trends. I have to find them before people find them, because if they already are found, then they're not trends anymore. But seasonality, it's much more easy to plan around, because you know exactly those international days or those seasons that happen throughout the year, and you can tap into that and plan content for that in advance. You can also look for trending hashtags on LinkedIn. So that is easily done by going in the search bar and looking for hashtags. My next tip is write. LinkedIn is a platform where people love to read. I don't know why. I don't understand the background behind this, but at the moment, LinkedIn is really pushing long-form content, and it doesn't mean creating a blog or an article. It just means creating a paragraph of text with a visual and posting that on LinkedIn. So write content, because people love to read and they love to share content that is well thought out and well formulated. And share a picture that grabs people's attention. So when you see a lot of text on LinkedIn, you will not stand out. If you only create text and post it on LinkedIn, most of the time it will not stand out. But if you post a text and a picture that grabs people's attention, then the picture will make them stop and make them read the text, and the text will make them comment, engage, or share. Because one of the things that you need to know is LinkedIn is not Twitter. People want context. They want to know if you have been part of a speaker series and you want to share that. They want to see a picture of you at that series. Or if you talk about working from home with your children and struggling, they don't want to just read it. They want a picture of you at home with your children, or with like a messy, place and your computer in the middle of it. People want context, and that is something that comes from the professional personal hybrid situation and balance you need to find that we talked about earlier. You need to find a balance between personal and professional, and here on LinkedIn it could be easily having a personal picture and a professional message, or having a personal message and a personal professional picture. So please don't keep sharing headshot photos of you looking super professional with a text around your expertise and why it matters. No, you have to find a personal angle to it. So you can still post that headshot and you can tell the story behind the headshot, or you can talk about your expertise, but make it funny or make it personal or make it intimate. Be authentic. And the other part is flippity flop that. Have a personal picture of you in your working environment or at home, or you doing sports or doing your makeup, whatever it is, whatever industry you're in, and then have a text that has a professional personal balance to it. People don't want you to use the platform as your personal PR tool. They want to know your personal story within your expertise. And then my last tip is, and that is always the case for everything, use video. And if you don't want to show your face, you can choose another form of video of showing the context of your work or something that you've been working on. I have another video on how to create video content without showing your face, and I show a lot of this on my Instagram as well. But if you want to see that video, click here or in the description below. Create video content. That could be you speaking to the camera, that could be short snippets of you experiencing something that you want to talk about, but use video as a format, because video shows that you are eloquent in delivering your message. If you're speaking to the camera and you know exactly how to speak, that is easier for people to relate to you and be able to hire you, because they know you know how to express yourself, you know how to present yourself, and you're going to be a great representative for the company. They will be more likely to hire you as a keynote speaker or a speaker or in a panel, because they know that you can speak and you're confident in front of people. Even if it's just the camera, you're confident in speaking. And this is of course most important for speakers, consultants, trainers, or educators. But it also simply helps with increasing your reach. So it helps to put original content on your page. Don't link your Instagram, don't link your Twitter or your YouTube channel if you don't have to. If you have an original piece of content that is 30 seconds to 1 minute long, put that directly on LinkedIn. If you have something that is longer than 1 minute, make sure that you create a short story and you link that, or you link it in the comments so that the algorithm doesn't see you drive traffic outside of LinkedIn. But one of the things that I do want you to remember is LinkedIn is a place where you can have high quality connections with people. So instead of just pushing out content, make sure that you engage in the comments and you have a conversation, whether that is in the DMs or within your content. Within your content, of course, it helps you engage more. Within your DMs, it can actually help you generate, a lead to convert people from a potential customer to a real customer, from a potential peer to someone who wants to hire you. I have more LinkedIn content, so please make sure that you check that out. And if you love this video, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and you share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you have any more questions on creating content or growing your personal brand on any platform, leave them down in the comments, because it helps me create content that is relevant to you. And I'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum. If you love this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe and share this with someone who needs to hear this. And I'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.